What's going on, guys? I just was hired for a new job. Very exciting stuff, but it's going to mean that obviously I'll have less time to dedicate to making, editing videos about the content that I care about. I hope people will just understand that I'm going to do my best to keep up with it because this is a hobby that I really enjoy. And if there are people who are interested to get to know me or are interested in my takes on things, I love suggestions, I love feedback. It's all appreciated. For today, we're going to do a quick reaction to Bellular and Levigas on their thoughts on Blizzard and WoW, the state of it, what's going on, where they're headed. Let's take a look.
So I'm going to assume that it's not that form of utter incompetence.
You know what happens when you assume?
Making our own Mournblades. It's time for artifacts too. So there's a Redditor, Beyond Electric Dreams, on the Warcraft lore sub, shared his thoughts about the recently revealed history of Zoval being the Arbiter, the stripping of his anima used to forge a new Arbiter, and what it means for us as players in getting back the Arbiter's essence. He suggests it all points to us obtaining our very own personal Mournblades, similar to how the artifact weapons were in Legion. Another big thing, who knows?
Yeah, have they got the resources to make a set of Mournblades for people that look interesting and look good? Because the artifact weapons were such an endeavor for them to make those things.
Right.
So unless they make them as part of the tier sets that will definitely be in 9.2 now 100%, I actually don't know, because that would be pretty...
It would be cool, but it would be a cool
Yeah.
fantasy on what is basically a game design problem that continues of the borrowed power.
Yeah. But it would also be a problem of, and this is a different one, if we make Mournblades and then we use them as weapons, we're pretty bad, ultimately, because we're just stealing souls from stuff we're killing. Unless we
Yeah.
use them as regular weapons, and then where's all the power coming from? So they should be, to be more accurate, they should probably be more like the legendary weapons that were just for that particular KT fight.
I've worked out how we're going to do it, Matt.
Okay.
Right? We're going to have the new tier sets.
Yeah.
Including
And,
weapons?
And they're going to be themed around the essential purpose of death, right? So our confidence.
Yep.
You know what? The good death. And the more you increase your renown bar and stuff,
Yep.
they'll accidentally make Azerite gear again, but they won't have realized it.
Oh, perfect.
Nah, I'm just fucking with you. I don't think that'll happen. That won't happen for sure. But seriously, please, if you're doing tier sets in the next patch, they're just bits of gear that drop in the raid. No system.
Yep.
No system. No player agency with them either. Zero player agency. Zero customization of the power of this gear. Just tier sets, just like it was in the past. Please, for the love of God, please stop just putting a new thing on. We did not want corruptions. We did not want domination sockets and shards. Please stop. Please stop. Please.
And they just keep trying to innovate new features for the sake of innovating features. And I feel like that's a top-down pressure coming from some level of management that's like, we need to spice things up. We need to be different. And it's really proving to be not so great. It's really coming across as forced and poorly executed. Please, Blizzard, just leave them alone. Make it more traditional, because that's what made it so popular for so long.
Yeah, anyway, cool. Moving on, Matt. Is it time for big smiles? Are you ready for a big happy smile?
Yay!
Time to make Matt a happy boy. Everyone, big Pepsi emotes in chat for making Matt a happy man. So, Matt, great news.
Yep.
Real good news. Hello, everyone. You bring up a valid point about the conduit upgrade items not being spec specific. It can be frustrating when you get a conduit for a spec you may never use. To address this, we're working on a change that will go live with next week's reset that will allow the Soul Twining Crescent and Deathbound Shard to grant conduits based on your current spec instead of my class. In order to receive the conduits of the spec of your preference, you need to switch your spec fully. Changing loot spec won't work. I really feel like we should have done this segment with the camera on your reaction, not me speaking, because you guys missed on a number of incredible animations that just came out of Matt. Incredible animations. So
I'm not happy.
now this is incredible. And in addition to this, they're increasing the drop rate of the Deathbound Shard when completing the Adamant Vaults in Torghast, Tower of the Damned. And there's a bit of a damned if you do, damned.
What was going to be somewhat traditional, where you don't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need. Instead, we'll just give you what you need, increase the drop rate, make sure it's the one that you specifically want, because we don't want you to be upset.
And if you don't hear, because
Yeah.
I am glad that they have done this. This is absolutely an improvement to the game, and I applaud and encourage improvements to the game.
But-
And then I also think, cool, I'm glad I didn't engage in that system because I'd have been fucking livid. I mean, even the amount of times where I don't play Beast Mastery. I
Right.
don't play Beast Mastery. Why have I just got a Beast Mastery conduit? Because let me tell you, if I could get these upgrade items, click on them, and click on the conduit that I want, I would actively go and farm them. Because I'd be like, okay, here's what I want to do. I'll go do it. Because you did the RNG on a class basis, not a spec basis, Blizzard, you made it impossible for me to want to play your game. Because it was disrespecting my time actively, clearly in order to just get more engagement. Because you guys designed this. You guys designed this. And you designed it the way that you shipped it. There is absolutely zero universe where this is a design oversight. And frankly, if this was a design oversight, that you guys didn't think it would be a bad experience for a player who cares about their current spec to not
Right.
be able to upgrade the conduits for that spec,
So
you
detached.
don't have enough foresight in order to be working on systems in an MMO like this. I am sorry.
So flawless.
I'm going to assume that it's not that form of utter incompetence. I'm going to assume
The big thing is that, I comment on the fact that they're just undoing all their stuff to make it easier for the player. But ultimately, that's what it was, like Bellular said. Systems designed to force longer engagement because you're not getting what you need, so you're going to do it again and again and again. The grind. The RNG grind, no less.
that they purposefully did it on classes because they thought, I guess, that that would get more engagement out of people.
The presentation of this makes me sick. It's so ignorant. Hey everyone. It can be frustrating, can't it?
Well,
Thank you for your feedback. Yep. Well, I'll tell you this. Okay. So,
who the fuck's Linksy? This is a new person.
okay.
Oh, notice Linksy. And I would say it's not their fault at all.
Yeah, it's not their
Could
fault
you
at
imagine
all.
being a community manager for Blizzard right now?
Yeah.
I
All those
mean,
messengers
your
getting shot.
job is basically chaperoning devs who can't really
Yeah.
take or respond to feedback. And I am more than happy to say that publicly because we have years of evidence that the devs don't take feedback. And when they
Yeah.
do, it is months and months and months and months and patches late and seems fucking kicking and screaming. Corruption rotation.
Yeah.
Like, this is just like the corruption rotation thing again. It's like you're literally arbitrarily not letting me work on the thing. Yeah. So,
I mean, like, I looked it up. How many days ago was November 23rd, 2020? 263 days. So this should have been in the game 263 days ago for the conduit system at launch to be in any way player friendly. Again, it's still not friendly enough. It's still random based on spec, which is still kind of grim because you can get finesse stuff instead of potency, or you can get the defensive stuff instead of potency.
do you want to smile so hard you turn inside out and just die instantly?
Yes.
So imagine if, right, you got a whole bunch of artifact power in Legion, and then that artifact power you trade in for a artifact upgrade token.
Yeah.
You then click on that, and it upgrades a random trait in your artifact weapon.
Yep.
But
Random?
not of the spec you're currently playing.
Of course. Yeah, just randomly.
Hey, Blizzard, that's what you've just done here. I know you might not have realized it. And in fairness, it's not as impactful. It's not as impactful. But in principle, design principles. Maybe if they had some, they wouldn't make the same mistake again and again and again, seemingly while not realizing it and being very surprised by the player feedback.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
You don't have to be the prophet fucking Valen.
That's the thing. Thank you for your feedback. I am very sure this feedback was given in beta. If not, well, when did the conduit system first actually appear in beta? It was pretty late in beta, wasn't it? That was fully usable, I think. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was late.
I can't remember. But I'm fairly sure this has been talked about significantly by a lot of people across the World of Warcraft community.
There are so many dilemmas with retail that it just seems so unapproachable for a player who's experienced vanilla and TBC the most. I just don't want to play because it seems like you'll put in a great amount of effort And then after all that arduous effort, they'll just change everything and make all of your effort moot. I can't imagine 263 days of playtime for some people who are just very dedicated, who just got the shaft based on this update. They must be livid.
You know what? Good. If these are the changes you're going to make in future, make them. But please make them a little bit quicker. Instead of 263 days after the expansion launches, after a significant amount of people are done with the content of your current patch, especially when your story campaign was finished.
Yeah.
Right.
And the last step of your story campaign had no gameplay.
It's like,
Yep.
people say to me, what's the difference between a paid beta and a live game that just has to evolve and respond to player feedback? I think it's the baseline of quality and the types of issues. Absolutely, refining a game once it's live is great, and this is an example of refining a game, but it shouldn't be that goddamn rough when it first comes out. That's your situation with this. I'm glad this has happened. I'm glad the feedback has, I guess, been listened to. I just cannot fathom how it took this long.
Better late than never, but never late is better.
Yep. I mean,
So, there you go. And this is making me sad because
I'm already bowed out and focusing on Final Fantasy, but it just is all the more reason not to play.
I really hate sitting here and, like, seriously,
Just
there's these
bashing the
people who
game.
think that this is all like some crazy grift. It's not. It's fucking depressing.
God, I wish it was a grift.
And
That'd be so much
if
nicer.
if this was a fucking grift while we were doing this, I'm fairly sure that you and me wouldn't have the problems that we have on a regular
You
basis.
just go home, be happy. Be like, all right, well, done with that shitty grift. Now I can enjoy things. But no, you
Yeah.
have to go home and think, all right, well, I want to play World of Warcraft, but it's kind of shit. Can't fuck. Now just sat thinking about it. To spend all week thinking about ways World of Warcraft could be better, and then they take that feedback 12 months later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this general situation is so fucking bad for everyone involved's mental health. It sucks and I hate it.
Yeah.
I fucking hate it. It's like
is a mental health issue.
Why is this shit not story we experience with our character like in actual gameplay instead of just watching something?
Yeah.
You know, like I like the little stay a while and listens and stuff like that. I
they're
do,
nice.
I do, but it should be stuff we experience just after just seeing other MMOs that do this better. It's like, Blizz, there's no excuse for you guys to be so
Bad.
bad at this.
Yeah. I mean, for people asking what we mean by grift, I guess I guess it literally means scam, but it's more recently been used for people who are kind of sort of dishonestly engaging with something or a community in order to like make money off it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's life would be so much nicer if that was what we were doing, but we're not. We're here for real, and that's what makes it so fucking difficult.
Yeah, if this was a grift, there'd be like an internal separation of church and state, which
Yeah.
would mean that we wouldn't feel like fucking Varian Rin 1 second after he gets sharded every day of our fucking lives for the last few months. Because that's
And you can see it across numerous experienced WoW players, myself included. It's just, we're defeated. We're so exhausted by the constant signaling. The only thing we're regarded for is our wallets.
basically what it's felt like.
Yep.
I mean, in a big way, seeing the thing we love being mishandled.
Yep.
That's what it is.
I really do hope it gets better. I know there's new leadership and everything that's supposed to take strides to make this a more approachable game, but how many years is it gonna take before I feel comfortable coming back? That's what I want to know. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I'll be off for a little while, but I'll see you guys again soon. No worries.